Former Deputy Minister of Finance and Member of Parliament for Obuasi West constituency, Kweku Kwarteng, on the floor of Parliament earlier this week proposed a cap on the number of parliamentary seats to control government expenditure.
We can even add, Mr. Speaker, that there is time to cap the number of members of Parliament for the Republic of Ghana. The creative presidential, the creative constituency, the creative all members of Parliament, and to be increasing their budget.
Chief Executive Officer of the John Agyeman Kufuor Foundation, Professor Agyeman-Duah, has backed this call.
For me, it's one of the most sensible statements I've heard in a long time. Investments of the public purse must essentially seek to create wealth, to expand the wealth base of the nation. So if you create things that do not produce, because productive things will be what will create wealth. Something that is productive. Like if you are putting money in farming, you know that to create something. If you are putting money in a factory, it's going to create capital. But just to pay salaries, pay allowances, pay wherever, Article 71 staff, just pay without any returns, for me, is not the best way of running a nation's economy.
He added that apart from the legislature, there was also a need to cap the executive.
You see, it's not only the capping of Parliament, it's the capping of expenditures on matters that are not productive. Anytime a government decides to set up an agency, it's part of the expenditure. So if you look at the rate of creating public agencies, the rate of upgrading existing agencies into authorities, and the rate of creating districts in this country, and the rate of creating regions, all these creations have huge financial outlays, and they add up to the emoluments that our revenues have to cover.
Professor Agyeman-Duah suggested that there should be deliberations on the ideal size of lawmakers for a country as Ghana.
You know, the creation of districts and constituencies, sure, is invested in the EC, but the EC is a state agency. So if Parliament, in its wisdom, decides that, look, for this and that reason, we want to put a stop, at least temporarily, on the way we are creating these structures. Sure, then once everybody agrees and the two parties agree and the Parliament sanctions and the executive is on board, then the EC has no option but to do that. So I'm not talking about an arbitrary decision by anybody. It should go through the processes as prescribed by the Constitution.